All right, it is morning time, 7 a.m.-ish, making some breakfast. I've got spinach and feta and olives and meatballs, and I'm making like this amazing like Italian omelet kind of scramble. Everything's coming together. I got the maps done last night. I feel good about that. There's a little bit more transcription because we are allowed to use the park map as well, and it's pretty detailed. So I might transcribe the checkpoints after I get done with breakfast. And then we're doing race check-in at, I think the race brief is at 8 a.m. Race start is at 9. So far everything's on track. Feeling good. The weather looks perfect. And I don't know, things are just progressing as expected, which is what I like. So quick update on the maps. As I was saying last night, as I was looking at the maps, the race director said, and he did this early when I signed up for the race, that racers are allowed to use outside maps. He even recommended people using National Geographic maps, things like that have the additional trails. Maybe it's because the mapping in this area is not as high quality as like Mark Latanzi's maps, where it's very, very detailed. So I noticed last night as I was going through everything, I realized, why don't I just go on Caltopo and kind of use Caltopo to figure out the details of the course. And I do have a printer that's normally color, but it broke, so I can only do black and white. But I did print out some black and white Caltopo maps in 1/24,000th scale, which is the scale that I'm used to in adventure racing. So I used that to kind of cover some of the spots that were a little bit unclear in the race maps that we were given. Also, the race maps are in a different scale. Typically maps are either like 1/10,000, 1/24, 1/25, or 1/50. His scales are different, basically so it could fit the course on the map most efficiently. Normally that's not a problem, because you can just cut the side off the map, create your own map tool, map ruler, and that works fine. But in this situation, it was scaled out a little bit more, so it's a little bit harder to see the detail, and my eyes aren't so great even with readers. So I wanted that 1/24,000th scale so that I could actually see kind of the detail in the trails and stuff like that. So old people need like more zoomed in maps. So that's kind of the update. It's going to be really interesting though, because there's like, each map has two sides. That one's got the topography and one's got the terrain, he calls it, with the trails. The trails are very, very light yellow. It's kind of hard to see. So that's one reason why he's letting us bring in outside maps. And then we get the park map that's actually really detailed, but of course it doesn't have the checkpoints on it. And then there's like an overview map. So this is gonna be one of those races where you have to be able to flip-flop between maps. There's tons of information on there to help you do the course, but it's just not all on one map. So you have to be able to flip-flop and really remember each map and what the advantages are and the disadvantages. So should be really interesting. Definitely, I feel like I got a little bit of an advantage because I look at maps a lot and I know how to use Caltopo and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a pretty hard course. There's going to be a lot of elevation gain and loss, and no matter what you did with the maps, you still have to go out there and execute. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay, got to make a little quick correction on the map scales. Basically, this course is part of this Kurt Gowdy State Park, and then there's this other area, and I forget what it's called, but it's kind of far away from the park. So on the far away from the park area, the map scale is 1/37,000. So here's the park area, and then this is the area that's really far away. So like on this scale, we have 160,000. So this gives you the overview, but it'd be really hard to navigate off of this. It just kind of gives you a few of the trails getting over here. A typical, let's see, here's another example. This is 37,000. This is I think he called it the terrain map with some of the trails. Then you flip it over. Actually, that's 160,000 as well. Let me see. And then here's an example. This is the topo map. It's kind of like from my topo, 122,000 scale. So that's going to be a little bit closer up than 124, which is what I'm used to. Flip that over. This is the terrain map, which has the trails. It's really hard to see, but there's like yellow little trails in here. This one's also 122,000. So what I'm going to do, since I don't have a map tool that does that, I'm probably going to cut off the edge of the map, maybe a 2K strip, and tape it so it's kind of firm, and then I can use that as a map tool if I need to do any measurement. Alrighty, I have made my two map tools. One is short, so it fits in my pocket, and one is long because I can hook it to my bike map board. just cut the edge off. I used double-sided clear tape, and now I wrote numbers on it, and I did the numbers alternating up and down, because if they're all in one line, they look like they run together. So you can tell I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it goes all the way up. This one goes up to 34, this one goes up to 20. So I got basically 2K and a little more than 3K on the bike. Not sure if I'm going to use this map to navigate, but I wanted to have a 1 to 22 thousandths map scale just in case during the race.